is working because Instagram is the only one that requires me to manually turn it on. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm live streaming to multiple platforms at the same time now. So I'm going to, what am I doing? I'm doing YouTube, I'm doing Facebook, I should be working how to stream, select go live. Time again. I'm doing YouTube, I'm doing Instagram, I'm doing Facebook, I'm doing Twitter, and I'm doing TikTok all at the same time. I do not have 5 different cameras. I have 2 different cameras. So if you see me looking up and down, that's why. Okay, that is all set. Instagram is turned on. Okay, cool. Good morning, Senzu. Good morning, Michelle. Morning. I don't know how to say Urban Scratch Addict. Good to see you. I noticed I saw a guy who was DJing this morning. He was doing a live at 7 in the morning, just DJing, which I thought was amazing. To have that kind of energy, to at 7 o'clock in the morning hit the decks and start performing, unless he's been going all night, of course. Cool. So as with every day, I'm here to answer your questions about artificial intelligence, especially how it can be used in business. That is my expertise, is the merging of entrepreneurship and AI. So if you have any questions either about business, like how to set up a business or how to grow your business, shoot. If you have any questions about AI in general, I'm also here for those. And if you have anything to do that connects the two, so how you use AI in order to grow a business, that's even better. That's definitely my wheelhouse, and that's something I'd be happy to talk about. On that note, I write a newsletter which goes out every single day, goes to about 50,000 people. Today's issue just went out about an hour ago. So all this week I'm talking about content marketing, for example. Next week I'll talk about, I'm not sure, I haven't worked it out yet, but I will deep dive every single week into a particular topic. So if you are interested in either AI, or if you're interested in entrepreneurship, or ideally both, the newsletter is a good thing for you to check out. Hello, hi everyone. Mastering Mindfulness, Tubi, Mike, Lu, user, I'm not going to say your numbers, user, say hi. Reese and Valdina, good morning. And on the same note, I have a book which is currently, let me check, I can actually see which number it is. It is, I think, yesterday it was number 2 for web marketing on Amazon, which is really cool. And it might be number 1 by now, because a lot of people bought it yesterday. Let me check it. I have lots of things that I check every morning, like sales, where my book is, how many views I've seen. It's not very healthy. Let me put it up. So this book is called Start a Business with ChatGPT by Kyle Barmer. It is currently, it is not number 1. That's a shame. So it's up there in web marketing as number 2. So it's next to Russell Brunson, who's a huge name in social media. I've got his book here somewhere. Next to Brendan Kane, Alex Reese, like there's some really cool names. So I was very happy to be at the top with them. So it is Start a Business with ChatGPT. I've made it free if you have Kindle Unlimited, so that's great. If you do not have Kindle Unlimited, the Kindle version is £2, so it's cheap. And then the printed paperback version, I think, is about £10 or so. That's because it's a big, thick book like this. So Tubi's asking, do you need an assistant? I actually have, so it's a very lean operation. It's myself, one business partner he's from West London, but he's currently living in Malaysia. Actually, no, I think he might be in Vietnam at the moment. So he's my main business partner. And then we have a virtual assistant as well. We're not at the moment hiring, but if you, tell me what you do, because we're always expanding operations, but we tend to keep it quite small. There's a book by a guy, can't see it, a guy called Jarvis, called Company of One, which I think is a really important book for a lot of entrepreneurs to read. We tend to assume that the only point of having a business is to grow it and to make it bigger and bigger and bigger. And that tends to get us into weird traps where we are taking on work that we don't necessarily need. We are chasing more growth without necessarily thinking about the lifestyle we want to have. And for me and my business partner, we know the exact amount of money we need to make and how many days a week we want to work. And we're focusing on that rather than just growing for the sake of it. So I have had bigger businesses before. The biggest I had was, I guess it would have been about 250 people. at that point, I no longer enjoy the business because I end up being a manager, a manager and a leader. So it's not an enjoyable business for me. So now we're focusing on creating smaller businesses with a higher profit margin that allow us to kind of have a life as well, which I think is quite a healthy way to do it. But definitely send your details. Valdina's dropping a lot of likes, so I imagine Valdina is thinking the same. Growing a business just for the sake of growing a business is what a lot of people kind of fall into without thinking, because that's what you want. You want a big business, but that's not necessarily the case. Often you want to have a life as well. And this means I can actually take my weekends off, which I try to do, although I do write at the weekends as well. So if you do have any questions about AI, I'm just looking through, but it's just lots of likes from Valdina. Thank you. Here we go. Hey, Carl, how would you integrate AI into a CPA business? CPA as in accountant, right? In America? I'm assuming it's in America. Oh, no, sorry. It is in the UK. So an accountant. So obviously there's different ways you can do this. There's using the AI for the actual accountancy work. So that's going to be using a specialized AI for, I don't know if you're in the UK or America. CPA should tell me. I think CPA is UK. Oh no, US. So certified public accountant. Sorry, this is not my world. So certified public accountant. So you can either get the AI, and there will be lots of AIs working on this, or companies working on this, which will help you do the actual filings. It will help you do the actual core work. That's one thing. And then on the kind of peripheries of that, there will be AI tools that you can use in your day-to-day operations. So this is things like taking meeting notes, for example, responding to customer service requests, lead generation, marketing. There's lots of things AI can be used around. So what I always say to businesses is don't just kind of apply AI blindly. Try and work out what business problems you actually need to solve. And then we start there with applying AI. And the particular tasks AI is really useful for are the tasks that are well, they are algorithmic, so they can be reduced to a set of steps. They are non-physical, so they do not require physically meeting or physically going somewhere or fixing a pipe or anything physical, because our robotics aren't very good yet. And then they should also require empathy. So no empathy. So any tasks that do not require kind of human connection, these are good tasks for AI automation. So yeah, one, look at what the blocks in your actual business are and whether or not AI can help there. And then two, when you're analyzing the actual blocks, you start with those three criteria. Is it non-physical? Is it algorithmic? Is it non-empathetic? And those tasks tend to be the ones that you want to focus on. And then from there, you want to focus on the ones that take up the most amount of time and money, and do not have a high risk of causing a crisis. So you don't want to use AI on things like publishing your annual report for financial investors, because that's a very high risk usage. Instead, you want to use it for more mundane things, more everyday things like customer service requests, where you're going back and forward. And even then, you'd want to include a human to check on it initially. So, sorry, that's a big answer to a much more focused question. So in a CPA business, like any other business, you would start with what your business problems are, and then you'd build from there, and you'd work out what you need to do using AI. So AI is not really just it's not a wave the magic wand and it fixes everything, even though some governments are thinking it's like that at the moment, but instead it's a tool that we can apply to make our business better. Valdino is still liking. Oh, CPA marketing. Okay, we're not talking about so cost per acquisition marketing. We're not talking about accountancy at all. Again, no, it's the same thing. But if you are applying it for specifically CPA marketing, I would say the most useful use right now is for writing headlines, for writing body copy. So for the drafting of the copywriting, so that you can throw in a huge amount of examples. Not examples. You can throw in lots of tests and you can test them all. So I'm running right now some Facebook ads, and I was able to generate just a massive amount of headlines for me to test all at once using. I use Claude for this. I prefer Claude over ChatGPT for anything that's to do with writing and quality of written output. So that's where I'd start with. I'd start with headlines, body copy, descriptions, and then creating them en masse, and then testing them all and cutting the losers. What are your top AI tools? I use 3 on a daily basis. So for about 80% of things, I use ChatGPT. ChatGPT is it's my workhorse. I think this is the same with a lot of people. We find new tools and we get excited, and then we go back to ChatGPT because it kind of does everything pretty well, and you can always rely on it. It's also fast and it's cheap if you're using the API to connect in with your programs. So about 80% of my work, I'd say, is ChatGPT. Then 10% is going to be Perplexity. So perplexity.ai is a really good model because what it does, unlike ChatGPT, is it does not make stuff up. If you've used ChatGPT enough, you know that if it doesn't know the answer to something, it will tend to fill in the gaps just so that it sounds smart. You can tell it not to do that, and you can kind of curb its successes, but it still has this tendency just to be inaccurate and just to make shit up, which in certain circumstances you cannot have. I was working with a client, an NGO over in Geneva. I flew out there 2 weeks ago, and they have a science team, for example, and they were saying we can't use ChatGPT because whenever we want it to get medical research, it will just make things up, and we cannot do that because we're dealing at this kind of high level, UN connected pharmaceutical company level. So they were like, we can't do that. So I showed them Perplexity. What Perplexity does that ChatGPT does not is it gives footnotes and references for everything that it gives you. So it will give you an answer, and then it will show you the footnotes and it will give you the links so you can go and check the initial sources. ChatGPT hides all of that, so you can't see how it's thinking. So Perplexity, for anything to do with accuracy, is my top tool. And then the third tool I use is Claude. Claude 3 came out 2 weeks ago. It's only available in... Okay, no, I checked this the other day. It's not available everywhere. This is the main problem with Claude. So if you are in Europe, most European countries... There we go, supported countries. If you're in Europe, you're out of luck at the moment. It's available in the US, it's available in the UK, Albania, Algeria, Antigua, and Bangladesh, India. Okay, it's available in a lot of places. Most African countries, most Asian countries, not China. That's not surprising. Singapore, you're okay. So what I'm seeing is it's available everywhere apart from the EU, basically, which is a shame because Claude is an amazing tool. I would say the quality of Claude Opus, which is their highest level model, is probably the best AI model we have at the moment. Not very many people use it because, well, one, it's not ChatGPT, so it doesn't have the kind of recognition, and two, it's not available in Europe, so they've kind of cut themselves off there. What's really great about Claude and the company who runs Anthropic is they're really into the ethical and safe development of AI. So they're kind of at the forefront of that, which means they kind of move slower than OpenAI and ChatGPT, but they are potentially a more sustainable model moving forward. And the quality of Claude Opus, the highest level model, it's perfect. So if I want to do anything to do with writing that I'm actually going to put out there, I never copy paste AI content straight into a blog. I won't go into that now, but there are reasons why you might not want to do that. But if I ever do anything that's to do with writing that's going to be released publicly, I'll always use Claude because it has a higher level of quality than ChatGPT. So yeah, Abby or Abby, I don't know how you pronounce it. Sorry, I know you've been here before. Abby, those would be my 3. It would be ChatGPT 80% of the time, Perplexity 10% of the time when I need accuracy, and Claude 3 the other 10% of the time when I need good quality writing. I also play around with Mistral. Mistral's really good. I haven't used it in any projects yet, but it's a great tool and it's open source if that's interesting to you. That's Mistral, Mistral. Hey, Jacob. I've been watching your stuff. Where are you? Are you Liverpool? I hope I don't get that wrong. I might be in trouble. Tubi says, determined to learn more. I'll check out your book. Yeah, have a look. As I said, it's $2 on, or £2 on Amazon. So it's pretty affordable. If you want the paperback version, it's because I need to pay Amazon to print it. It's print on demand. It costs a bit more, but it's not that much. The main thing is not just, sorry if you've seen this before, but it's not just a bunch of ChatGPT prompts copy and pasted into a book. In this whole 300-page book, there are maybe 30 or 40 ChatGPT prompts, and the rest of it is kind of business advice and education about how to start a business. So it's primarily about the entrepreneurship, but leveraging AI to make it easier for you. I've started over 30 businesses, maybe 3 or 4 have worked out, the rest have crashed and burned. That's fine. Like, failure is part of the learning process. But what I would say is, when I first started online business 15 years ago, I'm old, I had to learn how to code. I had to learn how to set up e-commerce, how to write sales copy, how to deal with customer service. Like, I was wearing many hats all at the same time, and it was hard. So you either learn those skills yourself, all of those skills, or you would hire people. And when you don't have money at the beginning of a business, that can be tricky. What ChatGPT and AIs allow us to do is to kind of leverage those skills using an AI. So for things like copywriting, for example, I can plug in a framework that I found. Let's say Russell Brunson has a framework, and he's saying you should use this on your sales pages. I can get that framework plus get the details of my product, put them together, and create the first draft of a sales page much more easily than if I had to do it from scratch. So right now, starting an online business, building any kind of business from scratch is a lot easier, because instead of having to learn 10, 20 different skills or hire freelancers or contractors, you can use AI to get you most of the way there, which is, I think, really powerful. So it's a great time. And this book gets you started. But I am biased, obviously. I think it's good. Thank you for all the likes again, Valdina. Tubi says, same, Claude is incredible and more authentic and human-like in its answers. Yep, it's 100% that. It's not just accuracy. It feels, the way it communicates doesn't feel like an AI. So it feels a lot more advanced. It's hard to pin down why, but ChatGPT's responses, you can often tell it's ChatGPT, especially when you use it a lot. So whenever I receive an email or I receive a message, I can tell immediately, like, that's ChatGPT. Claude is not the same. Oh, here we go. So Matta says, I was able to sign up to Claude while in the Philippines and can use it freely in Norway now. That's probably because Norway is not in the EU, I think. Oh, I'm just looking at the list of countries. That's interesting. So it's apparently not available in Norway, but maybe because you signed up in the Philippines, which is a permitted country, then you're okay. I'm not sure. I just know that whenever I recommend it, I get a flood of messages saying, I can't use it, it's not working. I'm sorry, it's not my fault. I don't make the rules. I think it's mainly an EU safety thing. So because Claude are very cognizant of the rules and regulations, they don't move into countries where there are regulations, like high regulations that Claude could bang up against. And with the new AI, so Artificial Intelligence Act, which came out last week, I'm sure that's going to keep Claude out of Europe for now, because they're very cautious, they're very conservative. Morning, how do you like your eggs? I had them scrambled this morning, if you must know. Tubi says, yeah, use VPN if you cannot use Claude in your country. You can use a VPN, a virtual private network, to change your computer's location, and then you can access other models. The one that I used to use ExpressVPN when I lived in China, because you had to have a VPN all the time. But the one I was using more recently was, it wasn't Nord, Proton VPN. So you can use a VPN to change your computer's IP address. It basically sends you through a relay, so it looks like your computer's in America or the Philippines or wherever, and then you can access other websites. pro tip, it's also really good for Netflix. You can change your Netflix and then suddenly you have access to different shows because you're in a different country. That's got nothing to do with AI. It's just kind of cool. Oh, sorry, butterfly. It's not cloud. It's Claude, like the name. So CLAUDE, Claude. Oh, thank you, AB, for writing it. Manchester. Sorry, Jacob. I'm dreadful. For those of you not in the UK, us Londoners are known for being terrible at this. Anything north of London, we're like, oh, it's just the north. We're dreadful. I have family up in the north. My dad's actually Scottish, and they live around Yorkshire now. So I'm not as bad as most, but still pretty bad. And one of my best friends is from Liverpool, so he'd kill me for mixing it up. Yeah. So, and for those who don't know, London's right down in the south of the UK. We're just very short-sighted in London. You reminded me of a young Pennywise. Okay, Jam says, you reminded me of a young Pennywise. Don't know the actor's name. I think you mean Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård. But I love that you go for Pennywise rather than any of his other roles. To be fair, he always plays scary guys, though. I don't know if you've seen Barbarian. It's a great movie. It's horrible, but it's a great movie worth watching. I think it's on Netflix. Can you put your book up again? Here we go. Yes, I can. I've got it right here. So I keep doing. This is my third live on TikTok, or fourth live, and in all the other ones, I had to reach off to the side to my bookcase to go and get the book. But here it is. Start a Business with ChatGPT by Kyle Barmer. That is on Amazon. It should be on all the Amazons. The Kindle version is quite cost effective. I've made it, I think it's $2 or £2. It's the cheapest I can go. And then if you want the printed version, because it's 300 pages, 365 pages apparently. I think it's about £10. So start a business with ChatGPT. And the best place to buy it is Amazon. Can you recommend a free, easy-to-use AI image generator? So, okay, you want free. It depends on, well, okay, if you want free, then you don't get the best results, unfortunately. I would say Midjourney is probably still my favorite at the moment. Midjourney does have a free plan. But whenever there's a new release or whenever the servers are overloaded, the free people basically get told, no, you don't get any credits. Because our paid people are using it. It's worth the cost, but I don't know what your budget is, obviously. There's also Leonardo. So Leonardo has a more generous free plan, so you should be able to still create images. And failing that, so GPT-4, so ChatGPT's best model, is a paid model, and that has image generation. So obviously you don't want paid, but you can get that for free by using Microsoft Copilot. So if you literally Google Microsoft Copilot, and it will be the top result. It will say your everyday AI companion. So Microsoft Copilot gives you free access to GPT-4 and DALL-E 3. So it can generate images for you. So Microsoft Copilot is probably the best free one, which has no limitations, because Leonardo and Midjourney, which are probably better tools, they have more limited free plans. So if you need something totally free, go for Microsoft Copilot. If you are okay with free but sometimes limited functionality, then Midjourney and Leonardo. S. Raymond says, what sort of option for business? I'm not sure what you mean there. Like, what business should you start right now? Or, oh, this one, sorry, from the book. So this focuses on, there are 3 or 4 models in here. They're all online businesses. I have run physical businesses before, and they were an absolute nightmare. My first big business actually was making posters to help people learn the Chinese characters. So I was selling them online, but there were these gigantic posters, really long, really heavy, really fragile, that I was sending all over the world, and it cost me an absolute fortune to send them. And that was so. After that, I was like, I'm not doing physical business anymore. I'm not doing e-commerce. It's a pain, because I flipped that business into digital only, and I was selling PDF files of the posters instead, and I made way more money. So the book and most of the things I teach in my courses and in my newsletter, it focuses on digital products. So products that are entirely online rather than requiring, they're not a physical object like this. E-commerce or physical e-commerce is not really my thing. So in this book, we have starting an email newsletter business. We have starting an affiliate marketing blog. So that's generating traffic to a website and then using affiliate links to somewhere like Google. We have publishing a book on Amazon using AI. So once you create a book like this, you can sell it automatically on Amazon, and it just puts money in your bank account. It's fantastic. Creating an online course using AI. So I have 29,000 students on Udemy. And once you've created a course, you can post it on somewhere like Udemy and people will continue to buy it. It's relatively passive. And then, is that it? I think that's all of them. So there's 4. I see my business partners in the stream, so he's probably sending me text messages saying, no, there's more. There's 4 business models in this particular guide. They all kind of work together. So if you've built one, you can then leverage it into the next model. And they're also in order of their difficulty. So creating an online course is probably the most difficult. So I've left that at the end of the book, but all 4 of them can work together. But they are focused on digital, so no physical items. They are focused on taking your expertise and building it into a business. So they tend to be expert-based businesses rather than like the new hot thing like drop shipping, or can't even think of any examples. But the main thing is they start from business principles first, and then we apply AI over the top of it, rather than it's just make money quick, get rich quick scheme, because I'm not into that. What's my Udemy course called? That's a really good question. 10 steps, the AI entrepreneur's code. That's probably going to be the most useful one for you. That one only has 1,000 students. This is a newer one. What I would say though, just because you're on the live stream, don't buy it, because it's £15. Actually, no, it's £60, but do not buy it. My business partner's going to kill me for this. Don't buy it on Udemy, because if you sign up for my newsletter, you can get it for free. There's a way to get it for free during the newsletter kind of welcome sequence, and you'll also be pulled into my my community as well. So don't buy it now. Sorry, Harminder, if you're watching this, but go and sign up for my newsletter using the link in my bio on TikTok. And that's going to take you to my newsletter, and you're going to be given free access to the course. It's not going to be on Udemy, so you lose that interface, but it's going to be instead in my, I have my own app, which is built through Circle. So you'll still be able to access it through an app. So it's called 10 Steps, the Entrepreneurship Code. That walks you through 10 days, and over each of the days, there's a 10-minute lesson. So 10 minutes a day for 10 days, and that gives you the basics of AI entrepreneurship, working through those. And then if you're ready to move to the next step, that's something I have, which is called the AI Business Breakthrough Academy, which is a much more fleshed out course where you get a lot more access to myself and my team, and it works you step by step through how you start a business, going from a business idea, building an audience, building a tribe, capturing information and nurturing, then going into a sales funnel, and building a business and scaling it up from there, all leveraging AI. That's a different thing. That's more expensive, but for when people are ready for that step, that's a really good course for taking you there. But for this one, the one that's on Udemy, go ahead and sign up for my newsletter and you'll get free access. You'll notice this one only has 1,000 buyers. My previous course was actually, when was it? I made it in 2021, which was a wider digital marketing starter business course. When AI came out, that course basically became defunct. So definitely don't buy that one. I think I've actually removed it from sale. That was teaching you how to do everything manually. And then as soon as AI came out, I was like, this isn't very useful anymore. So I needed to rewrite courses. I needed to redo everything I did because AI is such a powerful tool in entrepreneurship. So it's a good reason why I shut it down. But yeah, that was a lot of work. Okay, I have 31,600 students on Udemy. That's cool. Did not know that. Oh, there he is. Yeah, my business partner is here. They can also help you launch a service. Absolutely. Generally, I recommend starting a service before creating a digital product because you can use a service to work out whether there is a demand for what it is you are creating. And yes, Carl Harmon is saying, yes, Carl will give it to you for free when you sign up for the newsletter. Absolutely. Get it for free. Don't pay for now. I actually have to jump off because my girlfriend is about to start coaching and I want to free up the internet for her. We're a very work from home family at the moment. So that's fantastic. So I'm going to jump off. I'll probably be back on later. Oliver's saying, can you name the course? There's a couple of courses I have. The big one that I have is the AI Business Breakthrough Academy. If you go to my link in TikTok or whatever social media channel, you'll be able to see it in the link tree. I think it's the fourth one down. That's the AI Business Breakthrough Academy. And then the free course, there's a free 10-step course, 10 minutes a day. If you sign up for my newsletter, you'll get access to that as well. So I'm going to hop off for now, and I'll probably be back on live later. I've got a bit of the bug for this. So cool.